So, hi, this is Dan. I'm Haddee founder. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll have our seniors, graduates from high school this year. And most of the students are our college counseling students, and some of you help us with Haddee interns. So welcome, and thank you for your valuable time on Saturday night. I will start with just to have you guys briefly introduce yourself, and then we'll move to the questions listed on the event, and then we'll save some time for Q&A. So, okay, Ruchira, go ahead.
Hi, my name's Ruchira, and I am attending UCLA in the fall, and I'll be majoring in public affairs. For high school, I went to a public school in San Diego.
Thank you. Ivy.
Hi, my name is Ivy, and I will be going to Cornell, a School of Industrial and Labor Relations. I go to a high school in Long Island, New York, a public high school, and I came to America 5.5 years ago.
Okay, thank you. Ivy is our main intern who helps with all the Chinese social media blog publications. Thank you, Ivy. And Yu?
Hi, my name is Yu Ma. I intend to go to game design major in IT, and I study in Michigan Troy in a public school.
Okay, thank you. And when did you come to America, Yu?
I studied in Canada at my 9th grade, and I studied in America for 3 years for now.
Awesome, thank you, Yu. Justin?
My name is Justin. I'm from a public high school in San Diego, and I'm intending to major in electrical engineering, computer science, as well as business administration at Berkeley this year.
So Justin is our Haddee coach. Justin was also our student, and he teaches AMC competition as well as AP STEM tutoring. Okay, you can look for Justin, Coach Justin. Thank you, Justin. And Alex.
I'm sorry, I was eating something.
We can't hear you. Go ahead.
I apologize. I'm eating something.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Can I go next?
Yeah, Amy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy, and I'll be attending Cornell to study human-centered design. I go to a public high school in San Diego also. Yeah.
Thank you. Amy is our intern, and she helps ads design for her high school for Haddee. Thank you, Amy. And then Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I'm going to UCLA in the fall, and I'm majoring in neuroscience. And I went to a public high school in Chandler, Arizona.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Jessica's counselor is Miss Anton. Thank you. And Daniel.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm attending Carnegie Mellon for math in the fall, and I went to a public high school in San Diego.
Okay, thank you. So Daniel is going to CMU. And then I will come to Alex at the last one. And Evan. Alex, go ahead. Alex, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was eating something. Yeah, my name is Alex. I am a high school student from Shanghai, and I'm going to Cambridge to study economics.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, Alex has been interning with Haddee for a couple of summers, helping us with business planning. And the last one, Evan.
Hey, I'm Evan. I am going to NYU to study business next fall. I come from Iolani School from Hawaii.
Okay, thank you, Evan. Great. Okay, so now let's start. Yeah, this is a Zoom limitation with all the grid. So now I'm seeing Amy first. So I'm going to ask Amy the question. Okay, so the first one, really the key one, is what really helped you get into your dream school? What do you think? Amy?
To me, I think the most important thing, like even above GPA test scores or whatever, is crafting a kind of like a narrative for your application. So that means like you have what you want to study, right? And why you want to go to this school, but then you have to explain how like your background, your extracurriculars, like what you chose to do in high school all fits into this picture of why you're passionate about a certain thing and why like this school has what has like the tools for you to succeed and like has the tools for you to follow that kind of passion. So I think it's all about like tying everything together and making clear like what you want to do and how that school is fit for you.
Okay, so you're saying the word of matching, that your skill set and background match the school, you know, what they're looking for. Okay, awesome. Jessica?
For me personally, especially with like the UC essays, because you have 4 separate essays, I think making the essays a little bit more like dispersed when it comes to like what I'm talking about, making sure they're all focusing on a different topic and to really show like who I am just in like 4 different ways, and really being raw and like transparent in your essays, and kind of just, I guess, talking about something you're passionate about, because that's just going to make the essay more genuine, but just like writing something that you care about. And overall, it's just make sure essay and your application seem a little bit more like raw.
Okay, awesome. And Daniel, you're going to study math. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Amy there. Like showing they're like, because the application has so many parts, you can really tie together your whole story as like a student, as a person, through all these parts. So through like essays, through like what you've done with your extracurriculars, what you've chosen to do, you can really tie together a story of who you are and what you want to do. And I think that really shows admissions officers, at least, that you're a good choice for the school.
Okay, awesome. Now I'm seeing Alex next. Alex?
Yeah, mine's pretty different because you know, it's a British school, UK school. I'm not sure how many of you in the audience is interested in UK schools, but for me, it was more academic. So an understanding in the area that I'm applying to, that really helped me come to Cambridge, because if you're applying to Cambridge, you have to take their internal test and interviews, and you have to have understanding on that specific subject. And yeah, that's what got me into Cambridge. For me, it's economics. Yeah.
I see. Okay, very strong academically. Okay. And then Evan.
For me, I'm a very extracurricular based person. So what I did was just trying to find all these clubs that I love and really investing my time and energy into it and coming up with some leadership positions. Writing that into an essay, I feel like it really did help me get into my dream college.
Okay, that's great. Evan, that we only see half of your face. Okay, yeah, thank you. And Ruchira.
Sorry. I think like what Amy and Daniel were saying really helped, kind of like tying everything together. Like as yourself, it's kind of hard to see your life as like this perfect like 650 word narrative, but kind of look at like you probably have some idea of what you want to go into, and kind of look at like what you've done in high school and like your life before that, and the backgrounds and identities you come from and how they kind of all relate, and how like where you're going for your higher education can help you better become the person that you want to be in the field that you want to do so, and kind of connecting that all together is really important.
Okay, you guys are all talking about connecting the dots. That's great. Okay, Ivy.
Yes. So I feel like connecting myself and other activities I did in high school to like the major you want to apply, and show the college that you're really interested in this specific major or the college. Yeah, I feel like essay and activity that definitely helped me to getting my dream college.
Okay, awesome. And you?
Yeah. For me, I don't have a dream college. I said I have a dream major, and I searched out for the best school for that major. I don't know which school is my dream school, so I just went for it. And I think the thing helped me the most is that my family, they didn't put any resistance in my way, and they supported me along the way. When I writing essays, I needed emotional help, and they do so. It's kind of like what I can hope for my family, the most I can hope for my family. And that's the thing that helped me the most. And everything I just trying to do my best, and with my helpers, I can do it better. I think that's the thing that helped me to get to my dream school. I said.
Okay, helping you mean Miss Pound was helping you?
Yeah, Miss Pang.
Yeah.
She's
awesome.
helping me a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, she helped quite a few of you. Okay, and you have a sister, right? You guys were applying together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, my sister got her dream school. She definitely received lots of help from Miss Pang because she's real struggling about what to write, and Miss Pang is giving her lots of instructions. The result ended up very good.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. And Justin.
Yeah, for me, I had more of a dream program that was like a very specific intersection of fields. And I think what really mattered for me was kind of showing exactly why, exactly like crafting a very well-written story about why that school is a right fit for you. Not necessarily why you're the best candidate in general, but more so why the school fits you as a person.
Okay. Justin, tell everybody a little bit about MET. Yeah, very briefly.
Okay. So for Berkeley, I applied to this program called MET. It's called Management, Entrepreneurship, and Technology. And basically, it's a 4-year dual degree program where you get 2 bachelors, one from the College of Engineering in some major. And for that one, I chose electrical engineering, computer science. But you also get a business administration bachelor's degree after those 4 years as well.
Okay. Congratulations, Justin. That's great. Awesome. Okay. So next one, we'll start with Ruchira. What's your favorite activity in high school?
This is very like political science, public affairs type, but like I really enjoyed speech and debate, not only like because of the activity itself, but I think what it really helped me in like deciding where I want to go career-wise was it kind of exposed it like forced me to research like different policies that I wouldn't have had like the thought to actually research if I didn't do the activity. And what this helped me realize is like, oh, I actually really like learning about this stuff and like seeing what I think should be a valid changes that happen to these systems that we have in place. And I think even though like the event was really fun and I enjoyed doing speech and debate all 4 years of high school, it really opened my eyes to how much more can change and needs to change. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. So a lot of research on behind speech and debate, right? Okay.
Yes, for sure. Because basically how it works is each resolution you have, most of them have a policy attached to it. And in order to kind of evaluate if like what are the positives and negatives, you have to research into the policy itself. So
okay, awesome. Ivy.
I think my favorite activity maybe Haddee, because I've been with Haddee for like since last year, right? So I feel like I learned a lot and grew a lot with Haddee. So it's my first time doing an internship with a company, and it's my first time to see like how the real world is like as an employee. And I feel like Haddee definitely teach me a lot in terms of like business marketing or maybe communication with other people. And Haddee also gave me a lot of opportunities. And I also met Miss Pan through Haddee, which helped me a lot about my college application. So yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Ivy. So I think a lot of parents that who read Mandarins, following the blogs and Chinese blogs, Ivy is the main person, the main author who's behind all the blogs for the past year. Thank you, Ivy, and a lot of video production as well. So thank you for your help. And interesting, Ivy also has a twin sibling, right? You have a twin brother, right? Good. Okay, so now we have 2 twins here this year. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And Yu, what's your favorite activity?
For me, my favorite activity is joining like any kind of club, just hanging out with my friends. I don't really have any activity at school. Mostly I just doing my own stuff at home. If I had to name one, there's like an art program in my school where you had to create stuff and put them in a shelf to let everyone see that you are so creative. That's probably my favorite. But if you want me to say my favorite, I have to say is to get some time working alone.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, can you tell people, I didn't really hear, I know you got into a lot of good schools like Rochester Institute of Technology, Rose-Hulman. Where are you going at the end? You had a lot of choices.
Yeah, I went to RIT because they had the best game program.
Okay, RIT. Okay, that's great. They have a very good co-op program. And Ivy will be writing a blog about co-op. Yeah, that co-op program is provided by different colleges. So thank you, Yu. And Justin, what's your favorite activity?
Throughout high school, I would say my favorite activity was playing soccer. I was pretty serious about it, and I played club soccer year round, and I played for the high school during winter season as well.
Okay, are you captain?
No, I was not. I was captain for freshman and JV teams, but not for varsity.
Okay, awesome. That's great. Okay, next, Evan. Where are you, Evan?
My favorite activity in high school was definitely diving, as in springboard diving. It's some sport I joined without any knowledge of how to dive or do any flips from a springboard. But then as the years progressed, I got better and better and eventually became the captain of the diving team, varsity diving team. And I feel like this progression into something else from zero to something is very rewarding and definitely one of my favorite high school experiences so far.
Okay, Evan, you want to tell folks where did you attend school before you went to Hawaii Iolani?
I attended school at Shanghai American School, in Shanghai.
Okay, awesome. That's very good. Okay, because we have a lot of audience, parents are dialing from Shanghai. So anyway, great. Amy?
I would say my favorite activity was being part of my school newspaper. And I say that because I think it exposed me to a lot of different kinds of people from different backgrounds. And it also like helped me learn like software like Adobe InDesign and Illustrator that I use like a lot for, even for Haddee ads and stuff like that. And that's something that I'll take with me into college and into the workforce. But I think the most important thing about it was it gave me a lot of leadership experience. So I ended up becoming the assistant editor-in-chief, and yeah, I just got a lot of like valuable experience from that, working with people, managing deadlines and stuff like that.
That's great. Yeah, Amy, as we shared privately, not everybody enjoys managing. So it's up to you. And Amy will be joining our management team for Haddee for the summer program. So yeah, some of the interns will be working with Amy very closely. So great. Okay, and let me see who I have Jessica.
I would say my favorite activity was definitely like color guard, winter guard, band. It was all kind of under the same genre, but it kind of taught me a lot of like team building skills as well as a lot of leadership skills. Took up a lot of my time, but I think I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like, I think there's a lot of skills lifelong skills I learned from there that I wouldn't learn anywhere else.
Marching band. Okay, very impressive. And Daniel.
I'd say mine was doing robotics. So I learned not only a lot of technical skills, mostly like programming and wiring, but also just seeing the whole engineering process taught me a lot in like in terms of technical skills. But I also met a lot of my great friends there, and I also had a lot of teamwork and leadership experience come out of that. And I think it's in general, it's just a great program for anyone interested in any STEM field.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll start with you, Daniel. Next question. Do you constantly think about colleges in high school, and how often?
So I tried not to. I'd say at about junior year, it becomes very difficult not to start thinking about colleges. And especially like in your senior year, you will like not be able to stop thinking about colleges, I think, just because of the stress of application season, just because everyone around you will be also experiencing that. But for the first 2 years, I'd say really like I tried to do like minimal thinking about colleges.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. And Justin?
Yeah, like Daniel said, like in the first couple of years of high school, there's not really much stress put on that, but especially that summer before senior year and the first half of senior year, it's going to be a lot of stress, and you're always going to be thinking about colleges. But in general, I wouldn't say it was that big of a focal point.
Okay, awesome. You were busy playing soccer. And okay, that's great. And Jessica?
I would definitely say like first years, I spent more time thinking less about like colleges themselves, but more like what I wanted to do in the future. And that definitely helped me like steer what I wanted to do in high school. But then like junior year and senior, definitely college became a more prevalent topic, I guess. And especially like during application season, you're only going to be thinking about college really.
Okay. So I will just ask Amy this question, then I'll move on. Sounds like the answer is very similar, but Amy, go ahead.
Yeah, I think everyone knows, like in the back of their head, like a lot of the stuff you do in high school is for college apps. But I think like a healthy way to go about it, and what I was trying to like focus my head around, is what Jessica said, to think about like what you want to do and not really like colleges in specific. So I think once you figure out like where your passions lie, that's when the whole college application process becomes easier and you don't have to have like that much headache about it.
Okay. So I ask this question to Alex. Alex, are you there? Because you're international student. Yeah. How did you feel?
I thought about it, quite a lot actually in high school. But at the end of the day, I think really in 9th grade and 10th grade, you shouldn't be thinking a lot about college, and I think you'll be better off not thinking about it, because then everything you do, it's not fun. It's just for a certain purpose, and I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we do have students talking about, we have a blog that written by our UC Davis student, Logan. And each blog, he always talk about, how stressful high school life is. So I want to assure you that when you go to college, life will be much better. Okay. And I talked to a lot of college students, and both of my children are in college and at Berkeley, very stressful school. But they also told me, I think their life is much better off in college than in high school. So yeah, so that's good news. Okay. And let's see. Thank you for your authentic sharing, Alex. And so we'll move on to next questions. Okay, so now we're gonna start with Ruchira. If you were starting over again, what would you do differently?
I think one of the things I would do differently is join like a more variety of clubs, because I feel like I definitely like, especially in freshman year, like I should have like allowed myself to like see the possibility of me getting interested in something else when I had a kind of narrow mindset going in, which is something I changed. Also, just like college application season related, I think starting like in the summer and finishing most of like applications by October would be a really good idea, because I was really stressed in like December, and that's not something that should be happening. So yeah, that's like something that's important, I think.
Okay, that's great. So now this actually, I'm gonna dovetail into something very quick. And quite a few are Miss Pond student, and some of you are Miss Anton student. We have other, let me see what this, okay. So yeah, just talking about the rising seniors, you guys will deal with the application starting now, and pretty much gonna go through the end of the year, and even by like mid-January. So we have 2 boot camp programs. It's a small size group classes. Pretty much when you join the boot camp, you will be done by mid-August, your UC app. You'll be done, okay? You will be led by Ms. Pond, and we'll have the more kind of seminar discussion, but she will offer one-on-one support offline as well. So, this is the program, and 1 week, online, offline will be probably extending over a little bit over a week. You will be done by mid-August, or latest by the end of August. You're done with UC app, okay? And UC application is in November, then you'll have some fun and focus on your senior year activities and the grades. And she's offering the same time, she's also offering a bootcamp for Common App, okay? A Common application is a little bit complicated. There are a lot of activities, both UC and Common App. And she will offer Common App support with everything filled out, all done, personal statement, okay? 1 week. So by mid-August, everything will be done. The only thing, if you apply for why Michigan, why Cornell, and that's not included, okay? It's a small size, up to 8 students. So anyway, if you have rising seniors who are interested, and this 2 programs is good, it's force the students to complete majority of work in August and don't drag on into the senior year, okay? So that's it, dovetail into this. Thank you, Ruchira and Daniel. So let me see, what would you do differently?
I actually agree with Richard a lot about the first point. I think going to freshman year, I really do wish that I had done like a greater variety of things, or at least just tried them out, because there's a lot of fun things you can choose to do in high school. And I think in freshman year, I really didn't give myself the opportunity to do all that. So I'd say if I did it again, I definitely want to at least try them out.
Okay, okay. So there's a theory between like, you know, you have this passion for doing one thing for a long time. I'm actually a bit laid back parent. My kids tried a lot of things and it's okay, right? So I think for freshman year, it's hard to figure out your major, right? So Daniel, did you figure out in freshman year, what did you want to study, what you want to study in college?
No, not at all.
Exactly. So here's one reason I want to hold this event is really share with the students and the parents. Even you're in junior year, you don't know really what you want to study. I think it's completely okay. My son, November of senior year, did not know what actually he want to apply, political science, math, or computer science, okay? So when you go into college, going to freshman, it's completely okay that you did not know what you want to study. So I want to pick one more student. Jessica, did you know what you want to study in freshman year high school?
Definitely not. I think I had like a general idea that I wanted to go into STEM, but like definitely not like I wanted to do neuroscience just yet. But I kind of like took my time and like figured out what I really was interested in the STEM like topics when I was taking more classes, and I think that helped decide my major in the end.
Okay, okay. How about Amy?
Yeah, same, like definitely not. I actually only discovered like this specific program that I really wanted to go into like during application season, which is kind of late. So I would definitely recommend like just doing some preliminary research a little earlier so you can get a better gauge. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you going to study, Amy, at Cornell?
So I'm gonna be part of a program that's only like up to like 20 students. So it's called Design and Environmental Analysis. So it sits at the intersection between design, psych, and like tech, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so here I put word in for my alma mater, Cornell, and the College of HUMAC. It's a very interdisciplinary college. You pretty much combine the social science and natural science and engineering. So you're gonna have a lot of fun, Amy. Great. Okay, so Alex, did you know what you want to study freshman year?
I also I had some idea. I really liked the subject of economics since 9th grade. So, but I wasn't like completely sure that I'll study it in the future. But it was already my favorite subject. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we've been together for a while. I think you're very few students. You really knew what you wanted, that business and econ, right?
Yeah.
Even though I try to always push you, encourage you to do STEM, right? So good. Okay. And Evan, did you know what you want to study?
Short answer is no. I really didn't have much of an idea of what I wanted to do, especially during my freshman year. I did figure out that I was interested in film and I was interested in theater from my high school career, and that kind of evolved into, I guess, other aspects, just doing extracurriculars in general. I feel like taking my skills from theater really helped me as a Haddee intern, at least for salesmanship. And that's kind of how I figured that I want to do business in college.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Evan. So Evan here, Evan did not like that picture, asked me to change it. Okay. That was a couple years ago. So actually Haddee was started by 4 of them, the intern. And at that time, Emily was 13-year-old, 15-year-old. We have 18-year-old. Catherine was planning to, enroll and starting at Wharton in UPenn, and Alice at a different, it's Washington Lee, it's a liberal arts school. So 4 of them actually wrote the product requirement document for Haddee. So whatever you saw today here, we have also the mobile version as well. I'm going to show you all this with the requirements were written by 4 of them. Okay, so Evan, thank you. And you 4 decided to split the teacher, the student and the parents account. And a lot of parents were not happy. It's like, okay, I just signed up. Now I have to add my students, okay? And you guys decided, right? So Evan, tell me one sentence. Why did you guys split the students and the parents account? Why?
It's the fact that the student really has to want it in order for them to learn properly. The parent can't just, sign all their kids up for all these classes, and the kids are just, racking their brains out doing all these classes and sitting on their sitting every single day just listening to lectures. The kid has to want to go to their dream college. They have to want to learn the materials in order to achieve their dream college.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so that's completely in alignment with our ideology. Is we empower the students, okay? And the students need to have initiatives, do what they want to do and they're passionate about, okay? Thank you. And thank you, Evan. We'll come back to the question. Next question is, okay, so now I'm gonna ask, maybe I'll start with you, Evan. Does GPA really matter?
I would say it depends on the colleges. Honestly, if you're shooting for Ivy Leagues, I do say GPA, at least having a solid GPA does matter. But at the end of the day, I think it's about the fortitude of the student, what they're capable of achieving. It doesn't have to be through academics. It could be through extracurriculars or testing skills. As long as you prove to the colleges that you are more than the average candidate, I think you have a pretty solid chance, and that GPA can be overlooked in that aspect.
Okay, thank you. Ivy, what do you think?
I think GPA is really important. I mean, I feel like especially in the times where college are like test optional or even test blind for UC college universities, I feel like a solid GPA will be a stepping stone to like top colleges. You have to get a decent GPA in order for like the college to even look at your application. Or yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, so Ivy, I'm gonna ask you this question. You don't have to answer. Are you a 4.0 student now? You're going to Cornell.
My school is based on like 100 points.
Okay, 100 points. So you're on the top, really, really high GPA.
It's above 95. So I think it's like 4.0 in 4.0 system.
Okay, that's great. So you're validating that what Evan just said it's going to an Ivy League, you have to get very, very close to 4.0, right? That sounds like it. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So now I'm gonna ask, let me see, Yu, does GPA really matter?
So in my circumstances, it's depending, because I went to Canada in my last grade and I got 1 C and 2 B, and they didn't add up to that point to GPA calculation. And when I came to America, I get like a 4.02 GPA. I didn't really put much effort on that, and the college clearly know that, so I don't think the GPA matters, because I have to say it's easy to get a 4.0 GPA for me, for most of students in my school. We have a graduation ceremony. We are like people who have 3.85 and above GPA get a gold string on their hats, and I believe 70% of them get a gold. So I don't think that matters that much.
Okay, from your point of view. Your high school is very competitive, I heard, in Michigan, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay, I see. So Daniel, and what do you think? Does GPA matter?
I do have to agree. It's it's not unimportant, but it won't be the thing that sets any candidate out from any other candidate, since there's so many students with like high GPAs. I know at my school there's maybe like 50% like 4.0s or something.
You're kidding.
Where
Unweighted for 50%.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know about 50%, but it's
Very
a stupidly high number where
Yeah.
at that point 4.0 will not differentiate you from anyone. And then just if you're thinking about candidates across the globe, a 4.0 really won't differentiate you, but having like a 2.0 will not get you in. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so as our Haddee students, I don't, as a founder of Haddee, I don't access your personal profile. I don't know your stats, very honestly. So I'm gonna ask you, do you have a 4.0, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay, so now next question is, along the high school, do you get nervous, like you're afraid that now you have all A's and you're afraid of getting a B?
Honestly, I would say that I was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my son was a straight A student, my younger one. And I knew that, like he was concerned if we could get a B. But I think once you get a B, you'll be more relaxed, right? So like the first B is the most challenging one, right? So, but anyway, well, congratulations, you're 4.0. It's tough, yeah, to keep 4.0 in a very competitive high school. Okay, how about Alex? Can I ask you that question?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely important, but I'll just say the GPA itself cannot get you into any college. Just I mean, take me for a counter example. I got pretty top GPA in my school, and it was a competitive school, but my U.S. application result was not so great. The best school I got into was UCSD, which is decent, but below my expected score. So different factors into that result, but yeah, GPA alone can't just can't work.
Yeah. There, it's a complicated story. Okay, I understand. Thank you, Alex. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the question competitions. Justin, you're teaching AMC. I assume you did competition. Do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, so I did take math competitions pretty seriously in middle school and probably like freshman year of high school. And I would say I saw some success with it, and it was a pretty good experience for me.
Okay, you liked it?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely kind of build a community around that. And what I find now is that especially now that like I'm working on an internship this summer and applying to jobs, and especially for like I would say STEM, a lot of those core problem solving skills you build doing whatever competitions, AMCs for example, definitely come in handy later when you're trying to problem solve in the real world.
Yeah, that's good. Did your parents get you into competition, or you volunteered yourself?
They were the ones that kind of introduced me, but I definitely really enjoyed them, which is why I continued doing them.
Okay. Well, a quick ad for Coach Justin. Justin teaches AMC, and he has private students. Your students just absolutely love you, Justin. So thank you for coaching us. And I was going to refer you more students, and you told me you're busy this summer. So when you're less busy, okay, and let us know, okay? Yeah, good. Thank you, Justin. And who else do competition? Ruchira? I know you do speech and debate. Do you do other competition?
Not really. Yeah, outside of debate, I don't think I do.
Okay. So can I ask you, like, did your team go to the national, like where you were? I mean, you don't have to answer.
This year we well, this year, okay, like our debate team kind of fell apart this year. Like if you know anything about, yeah, our debate team kind of fell apart this year, but it's a very, even though it's nice to have a unified kind of like whole like team, debate is either like a partner event or yeah, an individual event. So me and my partner, we qualified for states this year, and a couple of other teams qualified for TOC this year. But yeah, everything was online, so it was kind of like underwhelming in the past few years, but it's a really fun event whenever it is in person because you get to kind of like fly to other states to compete in circuit tournaments, and you kind of get like you meet a bunch of new peoples from like around the entire United States, and it's a really fun event. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So one thing I sensed you really enjoyed, you kept using the word fun. So right, so because it's taking it takes a lot of your time, right? So you must really like it, right?
Yeah, so it's a big time commitment. We have practice like 1.5 hours for 3 days every week, and then we also like you have to like prep on your like you have to prepare and do research on your own time. You have to do practice rounds, and tournaments take like an entire weekend, like a full day and a half a day, and then you have to fly in and out. So it's a huge time commitment. But you really like the people that you do debate with, you like form like deep connections with them because you're like literally like in a hotel together and you guys have to like spend days together and prepare together. So that's one of the funnest parts for me at least. So that's what makes it so interesting to be a part of.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to ask Amy, do you do competition?
I did not. I did like competitive debate like Ruchira for the first 2 years of high school, but our debate team also fell apart. And I actually didn't put any of my like achievements or even the activity on my apps. So aside from like a few like art competitions, which weren't super competitive, yeah, like competitions were not part of my application.
Okay, okay, thank you. So you don't have to do competition to
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Jessica, how about you?
I didn't do any like individual competitions. I guess the most competitions I did were related to, I guess, color guard, marching band, and all that stuff. So those were like all the, I guess, competitions that I did throughout high school, but those are all like team events and stuff.
Okay, I see. You, did you do any competition?
No, not really.
Okay, okay. Ivy?
Yeah, I did a couple of business and marketing competitions over high school.
Okay, okay, I see. Okay, and so Daniel, you are going to study math at CMU. Did you do AMC or AME?
I did, but without any really significant results. And so I ended up not putting that really highly on my applications at all, actually.
You did not put in your application?
Not highly, no. I'd like to fill
Okay,
space if there was.
okay, so now you can tell folks, okay, that to get into a CMU math major, non-competition students also have a chance, right? Good, good. Okay, yeah. So I'm actually with, a little bit with Justin. Actually, my children, just similar to Daniel, he did not. My younger son is studying math and computer science at Berkeley. He didn't do no competition. Now he's at Berkeley. He's also doing summer intern right now. He did tell me, just like what Justin said, the skill sets, the problem solving skills that acquired through competition are actually very, very important. Okay, and I never realized that in middle school I put him in one session of math league, and he did not like it, and we never talk about competition, never ever. Okay, so now he looked back, he felt he hang around with the mathematic genius, and he said they are all competition winners. And honestly, a lot of them are from Bay Area. Okay, we don't have students from Bay Area today, and Bay Area students are very, very into competition. So anyway, that's FI. So if your students want to train, and we have Coach Justin, unfortunately, he is busy on one-on-one, but we have college professors. Miss Smiley will teach group classes for AMC 10 and AMC 8. They're all gonna start, I think, late next week. And they're short, sweet, just to get your students exposed to competition, okay? Thank you, can check out on Haddee. Okay, so next question is, yeah, we're on time. Okay, this is a tricky one. How did you guys answer that question? Okay, I think I wanna ask, let me see, Jessica, this question. I know you have very interesting majors you plan to study, not only one. How did you decide where and what majors to apply to?
So I decided to major in neuroscience in the end, and I think a lot of how I decided what major I wanted to, I guess, go into came from like what classes I took, because I took like AP Bio like my freshman year, and I was really interested in bio, and then I took like AP Psych, which kind of, and then putting the two together kind of incorporates like brain science, psychology, neuroscience basis, and I really got interested into neuroscience, and I did a lot of like more research into it, and I think deciding where to apply, I kind of just looked up like which schools ranked really well in neuroscience major that I wanted to apply to. And then I didn't only look at like major, like if they're like high ranking my major, I also looked at like whether I liked the school itself. And I think a lot of people tend to just be like, oh, they're high, like top 10 schools in like this major. Well, those are the schools I'm gonna apply to. And I think you should also look into just the school itself, what else they encompass, maybe like extracurriculars that they have that you might be interested in. And I think that can make your college experience a lot better as well. So I think that's really important too when deciding where to apply to and not just one major.
I see. I heard you're also interested in linguistics, right?
Yeah, I'm really interested into neurolinguistics because I was already interested in neuroscience, but I grew up bilingual, and I also learned like other languages in high school. So I always found the like language processing, language acquisition really interesting, and like how it works, especially in like bilingual children, because the way we learn multiple languages is a little bit different, especially when you grow up with multiple at once. So I thought that was super, super cool. My grandma was also like professor in linguistics. So a lot of my basis came from like my surroundings and my like cultural background. So that's what I kind of got interested in as I did more research.
Oh, fascinating, fascinating. Yeah, I'm studying Spanish right now. I give myself a goal. By the end of year, I want to be fluent. Okay, so we'll see. Maybe, by December we have an event, I can speak all Spanish, and that's my hope. Okay, and Ivy, how about you? Are you planning to become a lawyer or labor law?
Actually, no. Like, actually, I applied to other school, like every other school as a business major, and only Cornell I applied to industrial and labor relation. And actually, Ms. Pang recommended this school to me because I was really interested in human resource, and so I feel like I never thought about being in the labor major like throughout high school, but after like my research, I feel like Cornell ILR encompasses like all my interests, like in business, law or sociology, like just everything. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of folks attend your school become lawyers. They work for big companies and representing the company or representing the employees. Yeah. So anyway, it's a very niche program, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, good. And Evan. So yeah, you disappear from my grid. And Evan and Justin. You want to talk a little bit about the major?
I guess I did get into NYU undecided, but my major of business that I decide to, I guess, apply into come from my love for communication and I guess securing deals and just trying to salesmanship in general.
Okay. Yeah. Evan actually is joining our sales and entrepreneurship program and will help us promote Haddee. That's awesome. Okay. And Justin, and Matt is very famous, of course, but just tell us a little bit when you apply, what kind of majors you have in mind.
Well, there's kind of two fields I was looking at. For one, like engineering, I was really interested in not only like computer science, but also sort of like biomedical engineering. And then I was also really interested in business. And when I was applying, I wasn't necessarily sure what I wanted to do. But for me, I'm from San Diego. A school that I always seen as like a very good target school was UCSD. It has a great engineering school, right? And when I applied to, especially more of those reach schools, I was mainly thinking like, okay, like especially including the financial cost of it, like which of these programs would legitimately like I'd be able to consider over UCSB engineering. And that led me to, for example, for Johns Hopkins, I applied to biomedical engineering because I didn't really see like a good justification as to why I would pay $40K extra to go to Johns Hopkins for anything else. For UPenn, I applied to Wharton, the business school, because once again, I didn't really see a justification for paying $40K extra to go there for anything else. For Carnegie Mellon, I applied computer science because once again, that was their best program. It was something that I found relevant, and I didn't see any justification for paying $40K to go there extra for anything else. So for me, it was a lot more about what the school was specifically good at and what I could really see myself like choosing over an in-state school like UCSD or UCLA or Berkeley and paying that extra $40K per year.
Okay, that's great. Okay, awesome. Yeah, my neighbor told me that Berkeley is the best deal in town. So anyway, congratulations, all good. And so Ruchira, yeah, I know you're gonna study public policy, but when you were applying, like that's the only major, or you were applying for different majors as well?
So essentially what I've known for like a while, like I'd say like maybe 8th grade, that I want to become a lawyer. And the thing about law, which I find really interesting, is you can like major in anything for your undergrad and still go into law school after. It's just that extra 3 years. So what I really had to figure out in high school is like, what do I want to do that kind of sets me up for law school, but also is something that I am interested in. And for me, like the most interest, like after like debate, and I worked with a lady at a nonprofit who does policy work, and it kind of became really interesting to me, like policy in general. And for every college that offered like a public policy major, that's what I applied to. And for the colleges that didn't, I just applied to like political science as like a backup, I guess, because like it wasn't as interesting to me because it was more of like a history focus, like government focused kind of thing, which is not what I wanted to do, but it was close enough. But I did end up going to UCLA, and now I'm in their public affairs program, and it's a really interesting program. It's in like a separate school, and I over the past like couple of like months, I've kind of been researching more about it, and it's really interesting. And like the classes themselves, like, oh yeah, another thing is like whenever I was researching about colleges, like a lot of them ask like why major and why school. And what you do for them is like kind of like look in like the classes that you can take under that major specifically. And for me, like public like affairs and public policy classes just seem the most interesting. So that's why I decided to kind of apply to it.
Okay. So do you see yourself in 10, 20 years on the political stage?
I don't know 100% yet. I could see myself either as like a lawyer working in an office and kind of working. I see myself kind of like working as a lawyer, but like aside kind of actual political like representatives instead of actually one of them. But I don't know. It could go either way. So
okay, awesome. Okay, very good. Okay, so we have a couple questions here. Some of you applied for EA and ED and that got in. So I will start with Daniel. Daniel, are you there? Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about your EA and ED and your dilemma and why did you choose to ED? CMU, go ahead.
Yeah, I applied to, I think, a total of 6 schools early, and 5 of those were EA, and then the last one was Carnegie Mellon, which I applied to ED. And that just means that if you get accepted, then you have to go there. So I remember Miss Pont recommended applying ED to Carnegie Mellon specifically because for one thing, it's higher admission rates, ED, but for another thing, being able to apply ED just helps with knowing what to focus on, because applying ED helps with, or at least it helped me with focusing on building the strongest application possible for Carnegie Mellon specifically. And so I could use that for other schools, of course, but if Carnegie Mellon was the goal, then for me, it was a lot easier to build everything kind of tailored to Carnegie Mellon, and then go from there kind of.
Okay. Wow, I did not know you applied for 5 EAs and 1 ED. Wow, that's great. Okay, and then we have another ED student, Evan.
I did apply to NYU by ED, and since NYU was my dream school, I decided that if ED was going to raise my chances of admittance, and that I had to go if I did get in, that it was a worthy investment. And in the end, it was a worthy investment because I had a lot of free time after December because that's when my decisions were released, and that allowed me to really enjoy my senior year of high school and work on other important aspects of, I guess, my academics and my generally extracurriculars in order to finish high school strong.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, Evan, you want to share your parkour experience? Sometimes I shared your video on the moments. Tell us a little bit about parkour.
I guess it did. I did start parkour in the 7th grade. It's a sport that really helped me boost my confidence and boost my abilities to overcome fear in any form. And I feel like a lot of that carried over into my extracurriculars and school in general. And I did eventually start a parkour club at my school, and that was the #1 thing on my resume. And I think it really did help me get into my dream college because of the character building skills that it provided me and the leadership positions it provided me too.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, parkour basically is climbing the wall, doing all the flips, and has no fear, right, Evan?
Yeah, that's in short, that's what it is.
That's awesome. Okay, that's great. So I have one question. Quite a few are Miss Pond students because we've been working with Miss Pond a little bit earlier, and you can see the college help. We listed all our college counselors. However, Jessica, you start with Mr. Anton. You want to just share us in general what's the college counseling services and how it helped you, how Mr. Anton helped you. Go ahead, Jessica.
So I got my college counseling service a little bit later on. I was like October, November, I think, because I decided like later on I needed one. But Miss Antoine helped so much. I think a lot with just I was really stressed about my essays, so she helped me like edit my essays and go through them, make sure that I was coherent and clear with what I wanted to express truly. And I think that's what I mainly use the college counseling service for. But she also did help with like compiling my list of colleges as well as keeping me on my deadlines because I'm terrible at those. Because I was so stressed out and I was procrastinating a lot, but she definitely helped me get my things in on time and like completely ready. And I felt much more confident in myself when I was turning them in with Miss Anton's help rather than just doing it like on my own. So I think that's what the college counseling service can really provide you with, is just like an extra security for your applications. And that's how I treat it.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for your review, Jessica, on the Google. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so now, okay. What you guys have any questions? That we have exactly 9 minutes for the audience. Any questions from the audience? We open up to the audience. No questions? Let me see. I'm just gonna stop share. No questions at all?
Hey, can I ask a quick question?
Okay, go ahead.
What do you guys think about the participating in the sports program in the school? How much that contributes to the deciding factor?
Okay. Yeah, Justin, you want to answer?
Yeah, I'd love to speak on that. So, well, my experience was that I played 4 years of soccer and I ran 4 years of track. From what I've kind of heard, I think that unless you're really, really good at sports and you're good enough to be recruited by some of these top colleges, it might not matter too much. What I will add to that though is that some of these top academic colleges might not actually be that great at sports. So if your son or daughter is decent enough at sports to play on the Division III level, they could probably get recruited at a school like Caltech, MIT, U Chicago, Carnegie Mellon, something like that. What I've heard though is that if you have like at least one sport on your resume, like varsity for 4 years or something like that, that is generally like pretty good and will kind of check off that sports box for college. Outside of that, I don't know if it really helps that much, but I would strongly recommend that you at least have your kids try out a sport because aside from just college applications, I think it builds a lot of life skills and a lot of communication teamwork skills.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I refine my question a little bit more? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. How about this? Can any of you comment on any of you have close to zero or none sports experience and still get to the top university?
Okay, let's see. Ruchira, raise your hand. You have sports?
I played golf for like 2 years in the beginning of high school, and I wasn't really good at it, so I kind of stopped my junior year. And I don't think that helped or hurt me in any way. So, yeah.
Okay, and yeah, so I'm interested. Daniel.
I had none at all.
Okay, great. CMU. Amy?
I was the captain of our varsity badminton team, but I don't think that was like the winning factor in my application. So that was just like for fun for me. But I think in general for applications, like I don't really think there is like a sports checkbox or like any sort of activity checkbox. I think it's just like showing them what you're passionate in. But I do think sports can show that you're like a well-rounded person. And if you have leadership or just being part of a team is just generally a good thing, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna call a few. I know you're gonna be surprised with your answer. Yu, any sports?
I have ran track and field for a year and have go to my uncle's competition on marathon. There's a 5 mile. It's not a full marathon.
Okay.
I didn't include that in my resume, but I don't think that helped me a lot because I only ran for a year.
Okay, you did not include. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. Alex?
No, no sports.
Yeah, yeah. No. Both my children are at Berkeley, 0 sports, nothing. And Ivy?
I played tennis for like 7 years, but I actually didn't put it on my common app or wait, I put it on UC application, but not common app.
Okay, so did not contribute. Okay, to the decision. Jessica?
It kind of just depends on like if you count marching band as a sport, but like it's a team building activity either way. So like 4 years of that, and I guess you can count as a sport, you can count as a fine arts. It's kind of a toss up.
Exactly, marching band is in between. Awesome. Okay, so I have a couple questions. I'll just go with the order. Okay, Daniel. Parents want to ask you where else the 5 EA schools did you apply? I'm very surprised. I did not know you applied for another 5 EA school. You want to share the list if you don't mind?
Yeah, give me some time to pull up the list. Sorry.
Okay. So I will ask the D3. Let's go through the. Oh, you want me to ask, or you want to just wait a little bit? You look at the list. Okay, it's fine. So D3 schools. Okay, so I know Justin gets closest to sports. For D3 good schools, do you think SAT or ACT is necessary?
For getting recruited for D3 schools, sports actually don't have too much of a pull on their admissions. If you're for like a D1 school, like you can usually get in for sports and not have great stats. But for a D3 school, what the coach can do is write you a letter of recommendation that will have some factor in your application. But in the end, you still have to pass that academic like standard with your scores and whatnot. So I would say like if you are trying to get recruited to play at a D3 school, like even then you still have to have like very good application to go along with your sports.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree. Okay, so I think the 3 of you are going to UC. We have Jessica, Ruchira, and Justin. You guys all attend public schools, right? All public schools. Okay, so that question's answered. All 3 students are attending UCLA or UC Berkeley are from large public schools. Jessica, is your public school pretty big?
Average I don't know what's considered big. We have like a class of 500-ish per year.
It's big. Yeah. Okay. You guys are the same. Okay. So Daniel, you ready to share a little bit about your EA list?
Yeah. So besides Carnegie Mellon, which I applied ED to, the early schools I applied to were Caltech, Georgia Tech, Purdue, UMich, and MIT.
Okay. Great. Awesome. But ED is committing. So once you get in, you cannot back out. Okay. Any of you guys, just when you apply for ED, get in, you cannot back out. It's not only just about you, it's about all the schoolmates in your school, because colleges look at school profile very seriously. Okay. So when you get into ED schools, do not back out for the sake of your schoolmates and your school. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so did all of you have the internship or working experience? And okay, we are running out. We just have 2 minutes. So I know Amy and Ivy, you are Haddee interns. Oh, Alex, 3 of you are our interns. Who else have been interning, have intern experience during high school? Okay, Justin, Ruchira, okay, and Jessica. It sounds like majority of you have intern. Oh, no, Evan also. Evan disappeared on my grid. Okay, and now I saw Evan. So yeah, 4 of you are interning with Haddie's. You have intern experience. Then 2. Okay, so 6 out of 9 have intern experience. Okay, that's okay. Do you think that experience helped? Yeah, Ivy talked a little bit about Ivy. Do you think that helped with your application?
Yeah, I think that definitely helped a lot. And also then I also wrote me a recommendation letter to Cornell. Yeah, and thank you, Dan, for that.
Okay, thank you, Ivy. That's great. Okay, that's it. I give 1 minute, 1 question, 1 more question, and then we'll end at 6:10. No more questions? Okay, I think that's it. You guys can go have some dinner, or in Beijing, Alex, you can grab your breakfast. I know it's really late for Ivy and Yu in East Coast. Thank you all, and it's really my pleasure to work with all of you. And now you're all in colleges, and if you want to make have a part-time job, and feel free and talk to us. We have a team together, and so long as your college GPA is 3.5 and you have subject tutoring experience, you're more than welcome to come and teach and coach Haddee students. And Justin is already doing that. Amy will be starting and coaching ACT verbal. Of course, Alex, we would love to have you come and coach economics. So anyway, really, really appreciate your time and your generous and authentic sharing. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on Haddee. Thank you again. And we'll organize a San Diego event. I will send to all of you who are in San Diego. We'll go have some fun and have a team picture on the beach, okay? When Ivy's here, Ivy's coming to join us in July. So we'll have parties, okay? Thank you, and talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.